Okay, I think we're live. Welcome, everybody. Glad you could join me. Sorry, we've had a few issues with YouTube Live. LinkedIn Live, but we should be streaming on YouTube. So anyway, hope everyone is doing well. This is what happens. Show must go on, right? Well, while we're waiting for folks to join and come over to YouTube, a few things I want to make you all aware of. First of all, we are recording this, so if for some reason you get stuck on LinkedIn and you don't know where we are, then we'll make sure the recording goes up and you can share it with colleagues. And also, we'll make sure that it's posted up on, or the proper edited versions posted on our YouTube channel later. And while you're here, why not subscribe to our channel? We'll be posting, we put up lots of podcasts as well, so you should enjoy the content. So what's going to happen today? I'm going to talk for about 15-20 minutes and give a presentation, and at which point we can open it up to comments and questions. Now, I'm not actually that sure about the YouTube interface, but I assume you'll find the comment section, and if you want to put questions in, then we'll take them later on. And, anything you want to add as well, doesn't have to be a question, can just be a comment, then stick it in and we'll cover those in a minute. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to walk you through our new research. It's into the market for artificial intelligence in commercial buildings. And it's the first in a two-part series that we've done on AI. This first part and this first part of the report is going to be available to premium subscribers from next week, and then to everyone else towards the end of next week. And the second report in the series is going to cover more on the competitive landscape for AI software. So, this is the itinerary for today. So, first off, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the AI and machine learning techniques and their applications in smart buildings. Second, how much of the noise around AI is hype and how much is reality. Then we're going to look at the AI landscape and how it should mature in the context of commercial buildings, and a quick look at the actual size of the market opportunity, because we've done some we've produced some numbers in that for that part. And then finally, we're going to look at some use cases for AI in smart buildings. So let's get on with a few slides. So to kick things off, what are some of the AI and machine learning techniques? Now, AI encompasses a lot of different fields, including machine learning, natural language processing, computer vision, and robotics. We've tried to capture some of the main ones in this graphic. Now, ML, machine learning, is technically a subset of AI, although seems to be these days a lot of times those two terms seem to be used interchangeably. ML allows computers to basically identify patterns and make data-driven predictions without explicitly being programmed. That's really important. So these methods, especially in machine learning, do underpin applications in commercial buildings at the moment, and our report explores them in terms of their principles and primary applications. So you'll see here on the right, we've mapped some of those use cases to different principles and of machine learning. And we're going to talk a little bit more about actual use cases later in this stream. But for example, you can see there at the bottom, we talk about deep learning object recognition. And that can be used, for example, in video surveillance applications like number plate recognition. So today's AI is basically predominantly what they call narrow, meaning it's designed to perform a specific task with a limited scope. And I gave you an example there of number plate recognition. In contrast, what a lot of people are talking about now is AGI, or artificial general intelligence, and that's sometimes referred to as strong AI. So that would be capable of understanding and learning across a wide range of tasks, similar to human intelligence. So while like narrow AI is already being leveraged in various smart building applications, AGI is still remains something that for the future, and remains a goal of many AI researchers. So, hype versus reality. Is AI? How much of AI is hype? How much of reality? I think the answer is a bit of both, really. I mean, since even back in the 50s, right, when Alan Turing was first posing questions like, can machines think? AI has gone through several different cycles of inflated expectations. You think back to even like 1997 when Deep Blue was beating Garry Kasparov at chess. Like that was a sort of, again, a sort of peak in the human consciousness of what AI could potentially do. I think last year, 2023, was absolutely one of those peaks of expectations, right? Generative AI really became something and entered the public consciousness in a big way. And as well as that, I don't think often it helps that AI is increasingly used as a marketing term by companies, who want to differentiate their product or service. Now, if we just pull up that graph, the graph I showed, this is data from FactSet, and actually shows mentions of the term AI in public earnings, public company earning calls. And, it's not particularly surprising, right, that actually last year they increased massively. And AI sort of remains and is, I would say, an integral business priority for companies, not just because they see it as an opportunity to increase productivity, but also to gain a competitive advantage. So, yes, hype surrounding AI can, or it seems to outpace its actual capabilities, right? And again, like that's not particularly surprising. I think it's human nature that we want to, talk up the potential of things. That can lead to inflated expectations. And I think, in my opinion, if we look specifically at the smart building domain, we are at a point where most AI solutions have not been extensively integrated into real world settings, and their effectiveness sort of remains largely unproven outside of pilot projects. But yes, of course, AI's potential for transforming commercial buildings is immense, but that journey is still in its early stages, and I think much of the technological groundwork for AI is currently being laid in commercial building software and services. So a bit on solution maturity. Like this is a graphic that we've been showing for a while now. I think it's still relevant. AI is going to sort of bring or hopefully brings this potential to make buildings move beyond what I would call this kind of like if this then that analytics based on things like fixed set points and a narrow range of data inputs. So you can see there at the top where we talk about intelligence moving from away from rules-based analytics to AI, and it could help transform buildings into assets, that actually, in some respect, think, right? So they dynamically respond to changing environments and input and occupant needs. And okay, so this is like an aspirational vision of what a building would be, but I think it is possible for us to move towards let's say, a building that is more cognitive. So beyond that, part of what we did with this work is also size the market opportunity. And there's quite a lot of issues around that. I'd say first off, because AI is moving at like a really fast pace, it's not always really easy to understand what constitutes an AI solution, what is, versus what is quote unquote standard software. And also I think with developers now, we're regularly seeing how they're leveraging sort of pre-built AI tools and models and incorporating them into existing services. And that's difficult to kind of like parse out what is AI and what is not AI. And also, companies don't necessarily disclose what revenue is specifically related to AI either. So for this report, we took the approach of making a top-down model for our market sizing, and this focused on evaluating macro trends in the market and also our existing market model that we built up from the Internet of Things, and that has actually been developed now for over 10 years. And that's what we've based our assessment of AI smart building industry growth on. So in terms of headline numbers, using that methodology, we're forecasting the overall revenue generated by AI solutions in commercial buildings market last year, 2023, was around 2.16 billion. And should grow at over 25% towards 2028. Even then, based on our assessment and what we think, what other market researchers have said that is the total market for AI, these solutions will, only still represent like 1% of the total overall AI revenues by 2028, which I think is super interesting. So, in the last couple of slides, I wanted to talk about use cases. So a big part of what we did for this report was identify different use cases for AI within commercial buildings. And we actually came out with 66 distinct use cases that are being actively developed or commercialized within commercial buildings. And we classified those use cases within these 12 different domains. And I think as an overview, it really does show the kind of breadth and depth of AI, and it's really touching on every part of technology within buildings. Everything from energy management, as you can see there, through to cybersecurity, safety and security, and even building simulation. So I wanted to touch on energy management and efficiency in the time we have today. So we actually identified within this domain 7 distinct use cases. What you can see here is actually from a study by the University of Taipei, University of Technology. And it was a meta-analysis that these guys did from 164 different academic papers. And it shows, first of all, I think the various or the energy saving potential by application area within different building systems, and actually gives a variance for how much energy could be saved. So in the lowest observed energy savings range, we're talking about like 7 to 48% within building management systems. All the way through to something like at the top end with IT energy load or lighting systems could even be 70%. So it's kind of a fascinating bit of work here that you can really see the impact that AI can have in saving energy in buildings. And it's not just actually individual buildings, it also moves beyond that. AI is also unlocking broader opportunities around a technology like virtual power plants and integrating distributed energy resources as well. And in our opinion, this convergence of sensors, IoT platforms and software makes AI energy optimization one of the highest value use cases within commercial buildings. So that was sort of a high level overview of some of the topics that we covered in the report, and here it is. So as I said at the start, this report's available to our premium subscribers from early next week. And if you want details on how to become a premium subscriber, then please go to memory.com/subscription, or you can email us as well at support@memory.com. We'd be happy to talk to you about it. And premium subscription covers your whole company, where you get access to this report and then 5 more that we'll be publishing this year, along with all of the research articles and notes that we publish every week. Basic subscribers do not get immediate access to the report, but they do get 10% discount, and that's on all reports that we publish. So that will be available to basic subscribers later on next week. Also want to mention that not only, in terms of researching AI, but we've also been trying to implement AI in our own business. And I talked about this at the end of last year. We have developed a AI chatbot, which we're calling AIM, which tries to leverage the power of LLMs, large language models, on our proprietary smart building analysis. So it's giving instant access to our research reports, including the one that I just showed you. And you can, like you can do with ChatGPT, you can ask it questions and get answers in natural language. So it's a completely different way to interact with our data, and differs from other chatbots because they don't have access to our information. It's only this one that does. So that's actually available to premium subscribers now. So if you want to get a demo, then please reach out to me. Okay, well, thanks for listening. Let's see if I can bring up some comments and we can take some questions. 1 second. All right. Okay, some people asking why it hasn't started on YouTube. Sorry, on LinkedIn. So I'm sorry if you haven't. I'll make sure we put up the link later on. Let's have a look on YouTube, see if I can see some comments there. Someone who likes the music. Cheers, David. Appreciate that. So I don't know. I think maybe we've not been able to get people to come across, but never mind. Is there a few people in there? Okay, nice. Well, if you have any questions, please put them in. Maybe use some questions about use cases, anything you wanted to know about what we're doing ourselves. But let's see. Okay. Someone got the message anyway. See YouTube link up. Memory, can you please explain what is going on? All right, nice. Here we go. Hi, David. Did your research service any results around skill shortages? Yeah, absolutely. That's a big issue, right? I think in 2 respects. One, of course, the promise of AI is that it's going to help us be more productive and actually solve some of the issues around skills. But we still need, engineers at this point as well. So yeah, that is an issue that definitely came up. Do you, from Stefan, hi Stefan, do you have any insight on how the split of value generated will look across the categories you identified? Yes, absolutely. I think some of the there are clearly within those kind of like 12 buckets of use cases we noticed, there's clearly ones I think that are further along. I picked out energy management optimization. That's definitely one that where I think we are already seeing interesting pilots, and actually beyond that now as well. You know, there are companies that I've talked to who are definitely saving customers, 20, 30% of their energy using kind of HVAC optimization techniques. So that's happening now. Clearly as well within the security domain, there's some really interesting narrow applications of AI around video analytics. I mentioned automated number plate recognition, various other things like object recognition. Those can be really interesting and really useful for not just identifying potential threats with video streams, but also, we've seen companies using that, for example, in safety applications as well, looking at how they can make the workforce safer using those kind of video streams. So yeah, those are the sort of two big buckets, I would say, of where we're seeing value generated. Adam, how long do you realistically think it will take for AI to be implemented efficiently into smart buildings as a standard? And do you think it will become a common feature in specifications? Wow, that is a really interesting question. And actually, if anyone wants to put any comments in there, I'd be interested in other people's opinion. I mean, it's like with a lot of things within building technology, we don't tend to move particularly fast. So the fact that AI is moving so quickly, you would hope would spur people into kind of action and be able to implement these efficiently. But I do wonder how quickly it will find its way into certain applications. We all sort of seem to have a hard time implementing, IoT and cloud solutions in some buildings. So I think this will be quicker. In terms of common feature in specifications, I think that if it is going to happen, it is going to come from, the end user, right? They're going to be asking for these applications, so it will come from specifications. I think that's a good point. Okay, another question here. Could you please give me details on what type of revenue generated by AI building solutions are behind your calculations? So I'm going to have to say, when we put up more information about the report, you'll see it then. But it comes from those, within those 12 use cases, those are basically the, where we've accounted for the types of building solutions. So within those 12 buckets of use cases, that's what we counted. I can't really give you much more detail about that now. But yeah, come back and check the website next week. Across the use cases, is there an advantage to starting with energy efficiency to get things going? Yeah, as you said there, like the largest impact. I definitely, it's often been the case with building technology historically. It's been sold on energy efficiency and energy management. So in some respects, I don't see this as being much different. Like there's a big impact there, with more regulation and standards and climate goals coming, then yeah, it's becoming even more relevant. So yes, I see that. I see that as definitely as a driver and a good place to get started. David, there's a challenging question Adam given on this current state of specifications. Yeah, I agree. I guess even without AI, specifications are not great anyway. So perhaps I'm being a bit optimistic, expecting specifications to start including like AI applications, but we'll see. Will the AI application statistics you able to advise the live projects that have realized those outcomes, or are these predictions? Okay, so I think you're talking about where I was mentioning HVAC optimization. Yeah, I'm going on what I've seen companies say that they have, the energy that they've saved their clients, and they often talk about 20 to 30%. Now, I'm going on what they've said, but I've got no reason to dispute that. But I think there's quite a few of these companies that are applying these techniques to energy management. So we can put up a few examples of that, and I'll do that next week. But again, if you go to their website, you can often see use cases or projects that they've put up, case studies where they talk about that. Okay, Catherine again. Thanks for that. No, I've done that one. Okay, one more from Catherine here, sorry. Does your research indicate resistance to AI ML solutions? If so, why? Yes, we do cover that in the report. And I think there are some challenges around that. David mentioned one around skill shortages. I think that's an issue. And I think if we are going to fulfill the potential of this, then that's something we're going to have to. I mean, we have a hard enough time anyway, even without going down this road. Even with other, just with OT systems, finding the people and the skills to manage those properly, without adding more layers of complexity. But I think that we can overcome that. And I think in some respects, AI will hopefully allow for more automation and therefore reduce reliance on, or at least, reduce reliance on staff as well. So, it's a double-edged sword in some respects. Any more comments? Thanks for all the questions, by the way. Let me just go back to LinkedIn and see if there are any more, other than people annoyed with me for not telling them about LinkedIn. Okay. All right. So, yeah. Sorry, guys, if you tried to contact us, but we did post the link there. So anyway, look, don't worry about it. I will make sure that we will put the live stream up. So, if you were on LinkedIn, I'm very sorry you weren't able to view it, but we did have a technical issue here with LinkedIn Live. Yeah. Well, look, really appreciate those coming across who did make it. One more question here, which we can take, and then we'll call it a day after that. In the competitive landscape, is it mainly startups or established players offering these use cases? It's definitely both, I would say. I've seen, there's certainly and we take just HVAC optimization. There's a nice group of startup companies who are offering these kind of solutions, and also larger companies are offering these as well. So I would say it's a mix. And even in security as well, similar competitive landscape as well. We will be covering that more in the second part of this report, which will be out not next week but next month. All right. Well, I think that's it for today. Again, apologies to anyone who was on LinkedIn and missed the live stream, but I'll make sure we get the stream up later on. Thanks again.